topic, what exactly is file store and why do we need that, right? Okay, let me go to the documentation of GCP. GCP file store. Guys, don't confuse file store with file store, okay? Both are two different words. One is FILE file store, another one is FIRE store, okay? Both are two different things, right? Today we are discussing about file store. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, yep. Let me go there. But a fully managed NAS storage. So we know, right, what exactly is a NAS and all. If you want to communicate a single drive, and if you want to access between multiple virtual machines, you can create a NAS, and that NAS can be mounted to various virtual machines. The same way in GCP as well, you can create a normal virtual disk and you can install some sort of NAS and all, and you can able to access it accordingly. But Google is providing a high performance, a fully managed file store, which can be able to access as a NAS storage and can be mounted to various virtual machines. So what do I mean by that? So for example, if you're creating a virtual machine 1, VM1, and this is a VM2, and obviously there will be a boot disk, right, attached to that. There will be also a boot disk for this machine as well. But if you want to have a NAS attached to this, you can create a file store. And this file store can be mounted to this virtual machine as well as this virtual machine, so that the data that needs to be communicated between these two or needs to be centrally localized can be kept here, right? So the main important point for file store is it is mainly useful for virtual machines that we have seen, but the other core important functionality is for Google Kubernetes Engine, GKE. Because if you want to perform any sort of deployment on GKE, and you want to have a read write many operation, the access mode of read write many, file store is the one that supports. Okay, you can go for a GCE persistent disk as well, the GCP PD disk that are available, but this doesn't support RWX permissions. So file store is one of the one of the resources that will be supporting you to have a access mode of read write many, right? So if you want to create some sort of access modes, you can directly go for a file store. But in this video, let's see how you can create a file store and how you can mount between two virtual machines. Okay, let me go to the console. If you go there and if you see under the storage, there is something called a file store. Click on that. And you can read the documentation that has been very helpful for us. Let me create an instance. An instance is a fully managed network attached storage system you can use with your compute engine and GKE as well. Let me create an instance. Let me create a first instance or first NAS, right? And see, the pricing is huge, right? $204 per month. That too, I have selected HDD. Let me give the name. And I'm going for basic one. The basic difference between a basic and a high scale is something like the performance will be good when in high scale when compared to basic, but along with performance, the price also varies a huge. For example, if I go for basic, the amount that I'm paying is 768 for SSD. If I go for HDD, that's only 204. But if I go for high scale only support SSD. You can't mount a HDD for that, and the price was around $3,000 per month. So for our practice, basic is enough, and I'm going for HDD, and I'm going with a basic 1 TB disk, right? So what exactly are we achieving here? I'm creating now a file store with 1 GB size. And later I'll be mounting it to various instances and we'll be sharing the files accordingly, right? And I'm going with US Central 1, and any region is fine. Let the Google be selecting the default region. That's fine for me. And here's the thing. Now you need to select in which network you need to create a file store. Because once you created a file store in a default network, okay, we all know, right? There will be multiple VPCs that you can create inside your network. So let's assume default VPC is there, and default network, under the default network, there are multiple virtual machines. So when you create a NAS here under this VPC, all the instances that comes under the default VPC will be able to access the NAS drive. So if you want to create your own custom VPC, you can go there, you can select accordingly. But for now, I'm only having a default VPC so that I can go for that. And let You can ask Google to allocate the IP ranges. That's recommended even. And what is the volume that you want to share? Let's see. Like I want to share a volume by name logs. Okay, that means I'm creating a NAS. Okay, and I'm having a mount by name logs. And there are two instances that I will be creating now. One is a dev instance, another one is a test instance. And this dev as well as test will be able to access logs. This is a centralized location. That's what I'm trying to achieve, right? So the name that you want to keep it here will be the name that you'll be presenting when you are trying to access the logs. Logs is fine. Yep, let me create that. In the meanwhile, let me create a couple of instances. Okay, let me go to let me create it from the Cloud Shell, because we'll be knowing some of the commands as well. Creating a virtual machine from the console is very easier. You can see my previous videos as well if you want to see how you can create that. But for this video, I'm creating a virtual machine inside the Cloud Shell. Okay, let me zoom. The command is gcloud compute instances create. Let me name it as dev instance, and I'm placing it in zone US central 1-A. Authorize. I'm going with the defaults. The default disk is fine. The default memory is fine. The machine type is fine. The permissions, everything I'm going with the default. I need a dev instance. Ideally, it will be creating a Debian based instance for me. That's fine. Okay, it's created, and I'm getting external IP and internal IP as well. Let me create other instance as well. Let me keep it as a test instance. Once the instances are created, you can log in using the console. You can go to the console. Let me show you there as well. Where is the compute engine? Okay, both the instances are created. gcloud compute instances list will be giving all the instances. Sorry. This command will be giving all the instances that are being created inside my project. Test CLI is my project, and inside the project there are a couple of instances. So if you want to log into this machine directly, you can click on the search button, or let me show you other way. gcloud compute. What are the list of instances? Let me get it down again. Okay, gcloud compute SSH and give the name of the instance. Right? -- zone US central 1-A. I think I made a typo. Correct. It's not. There is no typo, right? So let me be a root. Okay, I'm logging into my dev instance. That's fine. If I see enter DF, as of now, these are only the mounts that have been present in my machine. There are no extra mounts, right? If you see carefully, this is my root volume which I've attached, and other one was the present one that are coming by default. So let me see if my instance is created or not. Okay. In the meanwhile, let me try to install some sort of NFS tools so that I can able to mount the NFS volume into my instance as well. So apt-update -y. Okay, and apt install nfs-common -y. Right. So I'm installing NFS client on my machine so that I can able to mount that. Right. Let me create a directory first. mkdir. I will be keeping it in mnt/shiva. Okay. If I go to cd/mnt, as of now there are no files, right? Let me create a file by name vi log 1107/2021.txt. Log file from my dev instance. Let me save this one. Okay, and let me exit. Let me see whether the content is got saved or not. Cat log. Yes, that's fine. Let me exit this machine. Or let me see if the instance is created. Yeah, it was created. So what happened? Okay. I'm still, let me be a sudo. As of now, I'm in my dev instance and my file store is also created. So let me mount that. So the general mount command that I use will be working here. You can use mount and your instance URL. You can use your public this one 10.380.106. Copy the instance IP address, right? And which volume you want to mount. We have created initially logs, right? And that will be mounted to /mnt/shiva. This is your file store, and this is your name that you have mentioned over there, and that will be mounted to the folder that you have recently created. Now, if I enter df-h, there will be nfs volume here. If you see here, a 1 TB size, out of which 956 GB is available. And if I go there /mnt/shiva, you can 1 second. There is the file clear ls cd/mnt/shiva. Oh, is the file deleted or what? Let me create it again. Vi, I haven't saved, I guess. Or let me do one thing. Vi log. Let me name it as 1107. Let me enter df-h. I can see the volume. Let me go into cd/mnt/shiva, and I need to see the file. There it is. And if I see log 1107 is the file that I created just now, and it is having from dev, right? So now I am in my dev instance. Let me exit out of this and go to my test instance as well. Okay, where it is clear. Okay, let me, instead of dev instance, let me log into my test instance. I will be perform the same activity that we performed recently, like updating the repository as well as downloading the NFS one, right? Let me do one thing, sudo -i. If I see df-h, that was not mounted in this machine, so I can't see the NAS here. So let me do one thing, apt-update -y. Once we have successfully mounted that NAS over to the test instance, the log files that are being generated over the dev instance should be visible here as well. nfs-common -y apt install. Okay, and let's see. Let it create. Okay, so now we'll be mounting that. Let me mount that. Mount your IP address. Sorry, what is your IP address here? Let me copy back again. Mount :/logs, right? So where you want to have it? /mnt/test. Okay, let me create that. This is a new one, right? mkdir /mnt/ let's do one thing. I created other one right there. Or else let's do one mkdir. Let me mount mnt/shiva also here. cd/mnt/shiva ls. I'm not able to see the file, right? Okay. df-h. I haven't mounted that. Okay. So let me perform the step again. Instead of test, let me keep it as Shiva. Okay. ls. Let me clear the screen. df-h. It should be giving me a mount. Okay. And let me go into that /mnt/shiva ls. And I should be seeing the file, right? Log 1107. What's the content in that? If I see here, log 1107, and that's from dev. Let me add a content again here from test as well. Now if you see here, I'm editing this file from a test instance, but this log file was being generated from a dev instance. But how am I able to access that? Because it's a NAS, and this NAS is being created by a file store resource in GCP. So this file store can be acting as a NAS and with a high performance as well. This can be mounted to your virtual machines, the Google Compute engines, as well as your Google Kubernetes engine as well, where you can have your access type or access mode kept into a read-write menu as well, right? So that's it, guys. And don't forget to delete this instance once you have done with your practice, because it will be charging huge, around $200 for a 1 TB disk that we have created for 1 month only. Okay, if you have chosen SSD, then the charges will be varying accordingly. But once you have practiced with this, try to delete this instance so that there won't be any chargebacks for you, right? So yeah, that's it for this video. As again,